He's the ex-national president of BAMSEF. He joined BAMSEF in 1982 and worked with Kanshiramji D.K. Karpade Sahib. And he was the BAMSEF national president from 2008 to 2010. And he has taught to both undergraduate and postgraduate students for around 32 years. We are extremely honored to have you attend today's online Vihara session, Maiske Sahib. And on behalf of Anna and all of us who have joined today, I welcome you. And now I invite you to please begin your talk. And we are eager to hear your insights on the topic failure of Ambedkarite organizations in the post-Ambedkar era and its way out. Please, the floor is yours, Maiske Sahib.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to know one thing before I start. Since earlier it was a kid session, how many kids and how many grown-up people are there in this meeting?
I guess the kids have dropped out now and their parents have taken over the calls.
Okay,
are still there. Yeah.
Right. Good. Good. That is good.
Yeah.
Okay. So, this particular topic which we are discussing today is a very important topic which is close to my heart. And it has been a concern and botheration for many people across the country. Because since Baba Sahib has passed away in 1956, we had been witnessing many activities, but the end result is not really inspiring. I feel I am involved in all the activities since my student days. And for last, I will say 40 years, I had been closely watching how things are happening, how rise and downfall are taking place. And at the same time, I am trying to analyze why all such things are happening. So basically, my approach of analyzing will be slightly different from the people who are from social sciences background, because I myself am not from social sciences background. It will be more of a scientific method as to how the things keeps working. I always try to evaluate things on the basis of what Dr. Ambedkar has guided us. Basically, what I feel, what Dr. Ambedkar has very clearly mentioned, that in India, it is a fight of two ideologies. It is a clash of two ideologies. That is revolutionary and counter-revolutionary ideologies. Most of us have concern about the Ambedkarite organizations and movement only because the counter-revolutionary forces are executing some plans which are creating problem for the whole society. And this has reached to such an alarming stage that at times people feel that we are helpless. We are not able to do anything. And hence, in that perspective, this topic becomes a very important and is quite relevant in today's time. Now, for that purpose, before we try to find out what are the ways out, I think we need to see the failure of organizations, their reasons as to why the organizations has failed in post-Ambedkar era. When I'm talking of post-Ambedkar era, I'm starting from 1956. After 1950, since 1956, we had seen many organizations coming up and vanishing after a certain period of time. And when I try to analyze why such a thing is happening, the one basic reason which I come across, which I encounter is, most of the organizations had emerged out of reaction or maybe some sentimental attachment to Baba Sahib Ambedkar, which tells that there was not much of uh, ideological evaluation, and hence, no doubt, I do respect that the intentions with which these organizations were started were really good. But in due course of time, things started changing, and we see that the objective with with which the organizations have started, they started vanishing. So when I talk of organization, every organization has a very limited and secluded goal. I say this because as far as Ambedkarite movement is concerned, it has a very big goal of social change, social revolution. Compared to that, all these organizations which has cropped up, they had a very limited goal. And once the goal is over, at times the goal gets over. So once the goal is over, people don't understand what exactly to do next. And hence, the organization keeps vanishing. Another thing is, most of the organizations which we had seen had certainly done a good job. But again, all those organizations who had done a good job, they had emerged purely out of reaction. So this is what we find, that those organizations who were really good, but they had emerged out of reactions, they had progressed to the extent when they got a public support, they felt they had reached a stage where they had gained the bargaining power. And that made them enter into some bargaining system where the compromise with the ideological things were done. And there the whole things collapses. Presently, what we see is most of the organizations are doing only welfare activities. I don't know what Anna is doing. I really don't know whether they are thinking in terms of social change. Uh, Baba Sahib started his movement for social change. He had done a good amount of job in the area of social change. But that does not mean that the social change is over. As long as two ideologies keep clashing, the social change will take a next level. The social change will always has to be looked into. So whether all those organizations who are doing some activities in the name of Dr. Ambedkar, whether they are working for social change is a big question to me. Most of them I find that they are doing welfare activities, which really does not count for a social change. That does not also mean that I am denying all the organizations who are doing welfare activities. They are very much required, but they had to be a part of some bigger mechanism, bigger model, which I call it as a movement. Unless it is a part of a bigger mainstream, till then, all the efforts which are being done by different organizations and through welfare activities cannot be consolidated and converted into a social for the purpose of social change. So, most of these people who are into welfare activities, my observations, my actually whatever I am talking with you is based on my experience in the movement, my field experience with, and whatever I had been gathering from public experiences. So coming back to the topic, uh, all those people who are doing welfare activities, certainly they are doing a good thing, but they have a one complaint, that we had been helping the students, we had been helping the youths, we had been helping the ladies. They are taking benefit from us, but their pain is that they don't revert back, they don't repay back to the society. Well, we have to find out the reason why such a thing is happening, but I had seen this happening all over India. I personally feel that all those who are taking benefit of our welfare activities, they do need the support. I do agree. but they are not been given the ideological training. They are not been given the ideological input as to why you people are doing welfare activity, and what that person need to grow, what he should do after taking that benefits of welfare activities. This is what are my observations. There's one more thing, that most of our people, rather, I would say, educated and intellectual people who are doing these welfare activities. I'm not here to blame anybody, but let us try to understand the fact. So, most of the intellectual people, most of the learned people, most of the resources people who had affiliation with Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, they keep doing all such welfare activity. But my observation is that they do all this thing by remaining in comfort zone. They are not going beyond that comfort zone and reaching out to the society who really need the help. What we are trying to do is, all the welfare activities which we are trying to do is for those people who come in contact with us. But at the same time, we are not trying to go into the villages where people are still suffering and they need a real support. So this is what has been happening of till date. Now, with this background, if I see that, if we try to see that people had done a lot of activities since 1956, a lot of organizations which has come up and done some really good work. Uh, what output has come up from such involvement and activities? One thing which I see is that there were some leaders who had emerged, who had started the organizations. Those people who had started the organizations, in due course of time, they had emerged as the leaders and they had created their place in politics. So once their place is created in politics, they are least bothered as to what the social problems are. Now, the way they could achieve their position in politics, I feel that had happened by at the cost of adjustment and compromising with the ideological base. So basically, all those people who are comfortable in politics in different ideological structure, those people had compromised with Ambedkarite ideology, and hence we are neither successful in politics nor in on social front. That amounted to uh, that sort of activities has left us in such a position that we are not able to fulfill Ambedkar's vision. Or to the extent, I would say that did we, or all those leaders who had started the organization and elevated themselves, I question them is, did we really understand the vision of Dr. Ambedkar? We keep criticizing the ruling class. We keep criticizing Brahmanism. But the question is, that is not going to give us the solution. The question is, unless we understand the vision of Dr. Ambedkar, till then we cannot get the solution which we are looking for. And hence, the problem today we face is the failure of Ambedkarite mission, failure of Ambedkarite activities. Now, in the process of all this, there is one more output which I have observed. There are a lot of blind followers which have been created. Maybe because of the hero worship, or maybe because of lack of knowledge of Ambedkarism. Even though we are highly educated, I many times blame people that we call ourselves highly educated and intellectual, but to what extent we have read Ambedkar and we have understood Ambedkar? That is the main question which bothers me. I again apologize that I am not here to blame anybody, but you cannot avoid the fact. You cannot overlook the factual situation. So here we had seen that all throughout this period in post-Ambedkar era, we had seen all those people who are even today active in the field, they are simply the blind followers of their godfathers. They are not able to understand what really Dr. Ambedkar was looking for. They are not understanding the things which are happening in the country, how their fate is in dark. They are not able to understand all these things. Now the question is why there is a failure, why this failure has happened in post-Ambedkar era. What? There was some message. Can you please tell me what was that message? Okay. So why this failure has happened in post-Ambedkar era? So when we try to analyze why this failure has happened in post-Ambedkar era, we will see that the society as a whole, we were very sentimental with Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar. Our connection with Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar was purely based on our sentiments, our faith in Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar. So that prompts me that society as a whole did not prepare itself to sustain the ideological base. And that gave a leverage to all the leaders to encash the situation and create their place in the politics. So when we try to find a solution, we have to take into consideration this particular aspect, that unless the workers, the followers of Dr. Ambedkar are unless the followers of Dr. Ambedkar does not make efforts to increase their ideological level, understand what Ambedkar was trying to do, till then, I don't think we can create a really good group team of people who can take the task ahead of Dr. Ambedkar. Another reason which I find in post-Ambedkar era, which contributes to the failure of organizations, is one-man leadership. All the organizations which has cropped up in post-Ambedkar era, all those had a one-man leadership. And nobody, no supporter, no worker had ever judged any ill intentions of that one-man leader. Of course, I do say that this one-man leader organization which were there in post-Ambedkar era, their initial start was with a good intention. But as he started gaining the support of the masses, his intentions started changing. Ultimately, those intentions created a place for him in the politics. So this is what has been happening. And all those leaders who were active during this era, they had never tried to give any ideological training to their followers or to the masses or to the society. And hence we see that there is a big failure. There are organizations who had uh, rose to the level of national, they had created their place at a national level. But even then, what we see that there was a band of people who were blind followers, and there was a band of people who were thinking ideologically. And all such organizations who rose to the national level, the leader of those organizations felt a threat from those people who were thinking ideologically. This ultimately led to the division of organizations, and hence the whole thing collapsed. So what is required as I say, that one man leadership has created a huge problem. So when we are trying to find out the solution, we should think in terms that there should be no one man leadership henceforth. Then the question arises, what could be the substitute to that? Well, we'll look into it. Then, regarding the ideological training, also we have to think seriously, because this ideological training has to be designed at a various level for different type of people. That also we, if time permits, I'll look into that. So this particular approach was absent, and hence we see that most of the organizations has failed in post-Ambedkar era. There is one more aspect which is very important why these organizations has failed in post-Ambedkar era, is because the leaders of this organization had never done introspection or retrospection. If you look at Ambedkar's movement, Dr. Ambedkar's movement, I had seen at some places where Dr. Ambedkar himself does introspection and retrospection. I think there's a lecture of 1951 where Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar says that this is 1951. He started his public life from 1920 when he addressed the Bahishkrit Hitkarni Sabha. If we start from that point, from 1920 to 51, after 31 years, he makes a public statement, which I feel, which I think is an introspection which he's doing in public, that too in public. He tries to elaborate, he tries to analyze what he had been able to achieve till now and what he is not able to achieve till now. This, I feel, is a great introspection which Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar has done. So he clearly spells out what he has achieved till now and what he is not able to achieve till now, which he was thinking of. And when he says that he is not able to achieve certain things, uh, he clearly tells, he clearly speaks out that now it is the responsibility of the intellectual class to complete the remaining task which I have thought of. So basically, what I'm trying to derive out of this particular speech is a person like Dr. Ambedkar, he very openly tries to introspect with the in front of the people. But all those leaders who had cropped up after 1956, did they ever try to introspect or retrospect? If I had seen at certain instances when when the efforts were made of introspection, probably the leader's ego was hurt and the organization had seen a division and a split. So this particular point becomes a very important aspect of the failure of organizations, that introspection was missing. There is a chance, because we are all human beings, we are bound to make mistake. But then when we are trying to achieve some bigger objective, we have to calculate that if I had worked for 10 years, where did I reach? To what extent I had reached towards that objective? What are the mistakes I had made? What are the mistakes we had made as an organization? All that thing has to be evaluated, and then only we can slowly move towards the goal. Now, when I say this, and when I try to analyze other organizations who are successful, I had seen that they had developed this mechanism of introspection and retrospection. And because they have developed this mechanism, they could amend themselves, they could correct themselves and try to go ahead. That is very much required, because as per the time, the situation keeps changing. The counter-revolutionary forces keep acting in a different way. So we need to see, we need to understand that this is all a dynamic process. It is all with respect to time and situation which keeps changing. But that does not mean that our ultimate objective will change. No, it will not change. The ultimate objective will not change. Only our strategies has to be evolved. Strategies will keep changing to face the changing situation. And hence, retrospection becomes a very important aspect in any organization, which I see missing all throughout this period in post-Ambedkar era. That compels me to say, or that gives me a leverage to say that all those people who were involved with their leader in the organizations, were they really available of the ideological base of Dr. Ambedkar's movement? This is a question which can be debated. But when certain thing happens, there has to be a reason behind it. And as I have said earlier, that in our country, it is a ideological clash. It's a revolution and counter-revolution which has started, which was there since Buddha's time until today. So we have to equip ourselves with the ideological base. We have to understand what our great reformers and revolutionaries had done, what were their ideas, what was their thinking, that we have to evaluate properly, not only evaluate, but train the people in that direction. So all this, if I try to consolidate all these organizations in post-Ambedkar era, I find that people had created the organizations, but nobody has created the movement. Baba Sahib's During Baba Sahib's time, the activities which he has done was a part of movement. It was a activities which had emerged out of his very wide, huge thinking. And to execute that, he had created some different organizations, maybe uh, Bahishkrit Hitkarni Sabha, maybe All India Depressed Class Association, or maybe Scheduled Caste Federation, Samta Sainik Dal, or whatever it is, whatever organizations we can think of. Those were the organizations. And those organizations was under the control of movement, under the control of thinking of Baba Sahib. And what Baba Sahib was thinking, I call it as a movement. So basically, in post-Ambedkar era, I had seen that these organizations were so independent and so autonomous that nobody had control of any institution, any model, or any mechanism which could consolidate the activities of these organizations towards marching towards the social change. So, with this background, what I feel is that we need movement. That means I'm not denying the necessity of organization. Organizations are required, but it has to be under the influence of movement, under the control of movement. And I had worked out certain points to differentiate between organization and movement. Like to mention few, I would say that organization is a one-man leadership unit. Movement has a team of leaders, and it is controlled by that particular team. Movement is a system-centric model. Organization is never a system-centric model. In movement, what we see is that people are dedicated to the ultimate vision, whereas in objective, we see that people are confined to the very, in organization, we see that people are confined to the very small objective which they have decided, maybe out of reaction, maybe out of welfare feeling. They are confined to that. Hence, that does not contribute to the social change. So, what we need, certainly we need organizations. I'm not denying that. But those organizations should be under the control of movement, and how that movement is to be developed, that then becomes a obvious question. Hence, if we are thinking of success of organization of Ambedkarite movement, or I would say ideological movement, because here in India it's a clash of two ideologies. So if it is a clash of two ideologies, we don't have to directly enter into fight with other ideologies, but we need to strengthen our own ideology. Strengthening our own ideology will amount to creating our existence, our base, and that will as well send a threat signal to the people of other ideology. So from all the developments which has happened in post Ambedkar era, uh, I infer that we should not have one man leadership. What all I am saying is out of my great experience for last 30-40 years. And this particular talk which I am giving now is generally I take 2 full days in a training camp to tell people how things keep changing, how things keep moving, and what should be the way out. So all those 2 things I am trying to condense in this particular 45 minutes. So if we have to be successful, we should build ideological movement. And under that ideological movement, we can have as many organizations which will meant to cover all segments of the society, which will meant to tap all the potentials of the society, and then only uh, we can hope, we can think of some success in the Ambedkarite movement. So what I infer from this is that we should not have one man leadership. That is one thing. Second thing is we have to build a movement. Organization comes next. Many times there is a confusion with people that movement will be built provided first we start organization. I'm not of that opinion. I'm of the opinion that you first design the movement, build the movement, and then to fulfill the requirement of the movement, you develop the organizations. So this thing should be very clear. That is, first thing is there should be no one man leadership. There should be we should build a movement, and along with this, we have to have a extensive training camps at all level. Simply because we are born in Ambedkarite family, simply because we are Buddhist, we have understood everything. No, that is not the case. We are only sentimentally attached to it, nothing beyond. And at times, I would say we become reason for the downfall. So we have to be awakened. We have to understand the ideological aspect of the whole thing. But before we actually look into the way out, let us understand what are the parameters of Ambedkarite ideology, or what are the parameters of Ambedkar. To be more precise, I would say, what are the parameters of Ambedkarite movement? First thing which come to my mind is social change, or rather, in a simpler word, uh, it's emancipation of the society. So that is what Dr. Ambedkar, if uh, if you ask me what Ambedkar has done throughout his life, Dr. Ambedkar has done throughout his life, I will say he had done nothing more than emancipation. That is a kernel of his whole activity. And for emancipation, he thought of liberty, equality, and justice. And to achieve liberty, equality, and justice, he tried to empower you socially, economically, ideologically, culturally, All this thing he had tried to do. So if you count all those things, it ultimately moves towards emancipation of the society. So this is what he tried to do. So this, we need to understand that emancipation should be our target, or in other, or a simpler word, the social change. This has to be our target. Secondly, I keep discussing with the people, and that is why I had tried to share this point with you. Did we ever try to understand the vision and mission of Dr. Ambedkar? Well, I'm not blaming or doubting anybody, but when there are failures in the organizations, we have to evaluate the situation in many different ways. This is one of the things which struck me. To what extent people were aware of the vision and mission of Dr. Ambedkar? People keep saying that the vision of Dr. Ambedkar was Prabuddha Bharat, or enlightened India. Well, yes, true. I say yes, correct. Then I try to ask people, what exactly do you understand by enlightened India? What exactly do you mean by Prabuddha Bharat? Then people say that, well, this is liberty, equality, justice means Prabuddha Bharat. I feel that this is not the case. My next question to those people is, if enlightened India and liberty, equality, justice are same thing, then why did Dr. Ambedkar use this word separately? So certainly there has to be some reason. So unless we understand, like why I'm telling you all this is, unless we understand Dr. Ambedkar in this manner, till then we'll not be able to really understand whether we are going in right direction, whether we are fulfilling the remaining vision of Dr. Ambedkar. All this thing we have to very critically analyze and understand. So I do agree that his vision was enlightened. He wanted to make enlightened India, Prabuddha Bharat. But his mission was liberty, equality, and justice. So through liberty, equality, and justice, through these three parameters, emancipation can take place. Otherwise, there cannot be emancipation. And to achieve liberty, equality, and justice, as I have said just now, that he had chosen different paths of empowerment, maybe social empowerment, economic empowerment, political empowerment, cultural empowerment, educational empowerment. So all these methods, roads, path he had chosen to create liberty, equality, and justice. So this was his mission. So this does not mean that once his mission of liberty, equality, and justice is fulfilled, his vision is also fulfilled. No, it does not mean this. Unless your starting point to reach your vision, your starting point to reach the enlightened India, Prabuddha Bharat, the starting point is liberty, equality, and justice. Once that is established, then we can start moving towards enlightened India. And when we start moving towards enlightened India, there are few more barriers in between, which I think I should not make a part of this particular talk. But sometime if situation arises, we can discuss on that. The question is, we have not yet accomplished the mission. We have not yet established liberty, equality, and justice. So I feel we have not yet started moving towards enlightened India, Prabuddha Bharat, which was vision of Dr. Ambedkar. So this is the background which should be imbibed in the minds of every Indian. This is for this purpose, you need a huge training support, huge infrastructure to train people at all level. Empowerment, well, empowerment, what type of empowerment Baba Sahib has done? In a smaller manner, you people are doing through welfare. But I don't see any such examples in whole Ambedkarite literature that Baba Sahib had ever done welfare activities. He had done empowerment activities. welfare activities are always limited to small section of the people, whereas empowerment activities is meant for the whole society. This is what he did. You can correct me if you feel that my thought process is wrong, you can please correct me. But with all my experiences and field work, I had come to this inference. So no doubt you should keep doing your welfare activities. I am not stopping you. So this is what these are the parameters of Ambedkarite movement. That is, one is the social change. Second is the vision, that is enlighten India, which will take many decades to reach that stage. The vision is such a thing that it cannot be achieved. Maybe it may not be achieved in our lifetime, because during our lifetime we have not achieved the mission. We have not established liberty, equality, and justice. So we have to evolve some such model, some such mechanism, which will keep working even though if we are not there. And maybe after 10 generations, we may fulfill the vision which Dr. Ambedkar had. So for this purpose, we need movement. Organization will not be able to do this task. We need a movement. And these were the parameters of Dr. Ambedkar's movement. And through empowerment, he started doing all this thing. So the question now arises, how do we take, with this background, we now think of how we take this task ahead to be successful with the Ambedkarite vision or mission. First, to be successful with the mission, and then we move towards vision. So this is the question we need to answer. So the simple answer to this is, we need to design and build the movement to accomplish Ambedkarite mission. That is a very simple and straightforward answer I am trying to tell you here. Otherwise, when I do a 2 days training camp, I speak in quite detail on this particular point. So we need to design and build a movement to accomplish the Ambedkarite mission. And under that movement, there could be several organizations. Now, what could be the possible parameters of designing the movement or building the movement? I had given a thought over it, because most of the time when I was witnessing the failure or downfall of the organizations, a lot of questions used to arise. I was trying to find the answers. If in the process of trying to find the answers, when I could not get the answer, then I started thinking in a different manner. Why certain movements are successful even after 100 years? You may take an example of Buddha's movement. It is more than 2,500 years. It is still successful. It is still going on. Maybe its severity can be assessed in Buddhist countries. The extent to which they are successful, that can be assessed in Buddhist countries. So what we need to think in terms is, of course, this is one particular example I had given about Buddhist movement. Another example we can see about the Sikh movement, which is still going strong since the formation of Panch Pyares, which are still sitting in Swarn Mandir in Amritsar. Or maybe the communist movement, it is still alive for many long years. Or our counter-revolutionary forces, the movement which they had developed. So if you try to analyze all these movements, by way of analyzing these movements, I reached certain inferences, certain conclusion that how the Ambedkarite movement can be built, how it can be designed, and how it can be made successful. So the basic parameters of the movement, which I could learn by evaluating all the successful movements in India and outside India, the three parameters which I came across is, for building a movement, we need a institute, we need institution, and we need institutionalization. These three things I had uh, inferred. Now, what is institute? Institute is not that thing which we traditionally understand. No, it is not that. It is something different. It is more than that. Institute, in a simpler word, I would say it is a team leadership. It is not one man leadership. Handful of people who does the lead, who has capability to design the movement, to control the movement, to guide the movement, to correct the movement, to introspect the progress and amend the things. So such group of people, they'll be very handful, because the qualities which are required for such people are very stringent. So not everybody can possess or evolve to that level or reach to that level. Of course, we'll have to also work out how people can reach that level by way of training programs. But then when I talk of institute, in a simpler terms, I will say it is a team of leaders. Team of leaders. Again, when I say it is a team of leaders, that this team cannot be a huge team. It cannot be a team of 100 people or 20 people. It has to be much less. And much less means those people who had certain predefined qualities, and they will keep working for designing and building the movement and controlling the movement, correcting the movement. So if I need to define the institute, I will say institute is a group of like-minded people. I'll go to the extent and say that not more than 7 to 10 people. Not more than 7 to 10 people. Because if you see the Buddha's movement, he first went to those 5 Parivrajaks, plus 1, 6. That is how the thing started. If you see the Sikh movement, Guru Gobind Singh Ji and those 5 Panch Pyares, they started the movement. If you see the communist movement, they were the handful people who started their movement. If you see the counter-revolutionary forces way back before 100 years, they too started with handful people. And things kept growing. They built the movement. So with this background, what I see, what I feel, that institute is a team, a group of leaders, a team of people. Institute is a group of like-minded people who are dedicated to the vision of the movement and had made it a target of life. Such people will do only 1-point program, no other work. They had made it a target of life. Such people will not perform any other work. This is what we had seen in all those movements which are successful for more than 100 years. They will be involved in designing the ideological based master plan for the movement, implementing and monitoring it. This is what the capacity of people of this team should be. Institute does not force people to follow them. They invite them on the journey to fulfill the vision. Buddha had never forced people to join him. Buddha had always said that if you find it proper, you join the journey. You can also reach Buddhahood. So this is how I define institute. It's a group of highly committed, dedicated, awakened people, and they will be doing the leadership. Now the question may arise because people keep asking different question, because I was asked one such question that I had said that all those people who had developed the organizations in post-Ambedkar era, the way their intentions and objectives has changed had created doubt about those people. So the question is, when you are creating an institute and a team to lead the movement, what is the guarantee that some wrong number will not crop up in that team? Yes, I do agree. There is every possibility that some wrong number may crop up in that team. But in such situation, what will happen is that that wrong number can be easily thrown out, and there are already people in the team to take over the task ahead. Whereas earlier, what happened was, when the leader of the organization had done any misdeed or any had gone ahead with the compromising of the ideology, there the immediate question was, who is the next man to lead us? There was a big vacuum, there was a big void. And hence we see that in such case where there is a team or an institute, uh, there is every possibility, I would say, there is every possibility that there could be some wrong number. You cannot judge the intentions of the people, though he may be very dedicated, though he may be very ideologically committed, he may be very great person. But in spite of that, you cannot make out the human behavior. So in such situation, if there is any wrong number in the team, nothing happens. He can be easily thrown out. There are the rest of the people in the team. They can take over and go ahead. So this is what I look ahead that institute should be. So we can work out certain framework of the institute. So the purpose of working out certain framework for the institute is not to to okay, I would put it this way. The purpose of working out the framework of the institute is to make things very transparent to the society, that who could be the member of the institute. So it should not happen that somebody is my friend, I wish that he should be a part of the institute, he should be a part of the team. No, that will not fetch any output. So the people who could be member of the institute or a team, as my evaluation and inference for all the experiences which I had listed down certain things. One is he should be dedicated to fully Ambedkarite ideology. Now, what dedication means can be thought of, worked out. Secondly, intellectually and morally, he should be evolved person. I am talking of morally also, not only intellectually, because intellectual person can also be, sorry to say, but at times morally, I had seen wrong numbers, most of the intellectual people. So, morally and intellectually, they should be the evolved personality. Understand Buddhism as well as the other egalitarian philosophies. They should have knowledge of revolution and counter-revolution, because in India, this is the only process which keeps working. They should have knowledge and understanding of current affairs as to how things which takes place in the country will affect the society, that they should understand. Also, they should understand the undercurrents. This is what is the most important ability which people should, our leaders should have. Because certain things we see happening in the country, that, well, from tomorrow this facility will be withdrawn, education will be made very costly, so that our people will not be able to take higher education. That is the only face we see. But what lies under it? What could be the intention of those people who had made such a plan? Those undercurrents we have to understand, that capability, that capacity, the team people should have. They should have utmost clarity of ultimate aim. Because our aim does not end at liberty, equality, and justice. Our aim starts from liberty, equality, and justice, and we have to go to the enlightened India. So the members of this team should have that utmost clarity. So there has to be certain core competencies, and also there should be some code of conduct, because most of such successful movements which I had noticed, they do have some such code of conduct. They don't go out of way and speak in public. They will never express their opinion. They will express only that thing which is decided in their team. But we keep simply speaking. Once we come out of certain LAN, immediately we keep advertising. So all this certain framework can be worked out. And uh, for working out those framework, we can also design certain training programs, certain readings. We can recommend what all is to be read and what all is to be done. So once we build such this institute, which will take certain time, it is not a matter of 1 year or a day. So once we build such organization, such institute, then we have to step into building institutions, which you call as organizations. So all these organizations or institutions which are built, which are formed, will be designed by the institute, will be given a guideline, will be given an action plan. Its team will be decided by the institute, who will be leading the organizations. All this thing will be decided by the institute. So there comes the role of institute. But now, if you create organizations, or if you create institutions, it means you are directly under control of institute. Today we have many organizations, but we don't have control over them. Nobody has any control over any organization, to the extent that each organization is so autonomous and independent in itself, that they feel whatever they are doing is only Ambedkarism, and what others are doing is not Ambedkarism. So that sort of feeling, that sort of enmity, that why we should talk to the people of that organizations, and many more things keeps happening. So all such thing is not going to fulfill the mission of Dr. Ambedkar. So then we comes to institutionalization. Institutionalization is some such thing that we have to create certain habits amongst the masses, which will help the institution and the institute to achieve the ultimate goal. Say, for example, to make it more simpler and clearer, Baba Sahib in his lifetime, he said that you must give 1/5 of your income for the cause of society. Now, this is the instruction which he has given to the society. Society has accepted it. Why this instruction was given, that is one aspect. But then here, he has tried to institutionalize the people. He has tried to imbibe certain pattern of behavior in the people, that you need to give something for your own emancipation. So many such uh, behavior patterns will have to imbibe in the society, and then only the society will work in a proper direction. Today, the society is fragmented because of all these small time leaders. They don't have a very specific aim at times. So if we have to reorganize or reunite the whole society, there has to be institutionalization. So when I am talking of a movement, this movement can be built only on the basis of institution, and institutionalization. Then only we will be able to build the movement. So I don't know what's the time. So this is what, in short, I tried to share with you, which otherwise I speak on this subject for 2 full days, 7 hours, 7 to 8 hours each day. So if we start thinking in this manner, if we start working on it, certainly the point where Baba Sahib has left us, we can even today think of continuing beyond. One thing which we should understand, which Baba Sahib has very clearly mentioned in his book Rana de Gandhi and Jinnah. He says, when he talks of way out, he says, the crisis can be met by discovery of new ways. When there is no way found, society goes under fall. Time may suggest possible new ways, but to step on the right one is not the work of time. It is the work of man. Man, therefore, is a, just 1 minute. Okay. So man, therefore, is a factor and force, whether impersonal or social. If they are the first, if they are the first, are not the last. So even Baba Sahib is optimistic when he says that there is a way out. And this particular way out, we have to very wisely design, think, and once we design and think, we have to work on this. It is not that we design and plan and somebody else will work on it. No, this cannot happen. This will never happen. And when Baba Sahib is making this particular statement, he says that the crisis can be met. It means that he is visualizing that crisis will arise. So, well, be, let's not get disheartened by the crisis, but then let's accept that crisis will keep coming. But then we have to evolve certain method, technique, model, methodology, mechanism to overcome all this with the ultimate aim, with the only aim to fulfill the remaining task and vision of Dr. Ambedkar. I think I should stop here. Otherwise, for me, this is a very big topic, but I'll stop here. And if there are any questions from your end, I'll be very happy to answer it.
Thank you so much, Maske Sahib, for sharing your thoughts and condensing your detailed 2-day program into such a short time. And whatever thoughts and analysis and experience you have shared, they were really insightful, and I'm sure the audience would agree with me. So if anyone from the audience has any questions for Maske Sahib, please raise your hands. Or if you would like to share any comments, uh, please raise your hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Mr. Dhirendra Bhagwat, please unmute yourself and please ask your question to sir.
Please raise your hand so I can unmute you.
Mr. Dhirendra Bhagwat, please raise your hand so that we can unmute you. Okay. Mr. Sandeep has raised his hand, so please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I think it was very wonderful lecture. Thank you for giving us this, insights. So just
Yeah.
had a few questions.
Yeah.
I believe EVMs made vote value as zero. So one man, one vote, one value was a precious gift won by Ambedkarite movement. So with this in mind, do you think current BAMSEF Ambedkarite movement is moving backwards due to infighting, lack of visionary leadership, etc.? Or what are your thoughts on this?
This is such a question which I will say that I should not answer it on open forum. But then you can call me and we can discuss it. If you want the answer immediately, I will say as of now, no. If you want to know detail, we can talk over the phone.
All right, sir. I think I can now raise my hand, and I got unmuted, Sahib. Dhirendra Bhagwat Rangari here.
Yes.
Sir, if you can hear me,
Yeah.
the institute which you envisaged,
Yeah.
and you also said the members needs to be very limited, and you quoted the reasons for that. Don't you think that we need to still have a process of creating parallel leadership in that particular, to be able to go to that team, because that team, in that team, the members would leave or would demise or would retire. So what is your thought process of having
See,
a
okay,
parallel leadership building?
okay. Now, one thing I should make it very clear, I don't believe in one-man leadership. Let me be very clear on that aspect. I will certainly not promote that. Second thing is the institute which I have talked of, I'm very sure that on day one we cannot create it because we may not have people of that level. Okay. So immediately what we need should be done, what we need to do or should be done is the extensive training programs in ideological aspect should be taken up. And in the process, we may be able to identify the people who could fit into the definition of institute. That I think can be the process to start with.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. And if you may ask, if you may, and the host allow me to go for the second question, which is a
Yeah.
complement of the first question,
Yeah.
and then I will let the other members ask you. Uh, Once the institution is formed, sir, okay, do you
Pardon?
think once the institute which you envisaged is formed,
Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
organized, is made,
Yeah.
do you think it is going to be easy for the institute to go to the existing institutions or organizations and to club them and to organize them and to motivate them towards us?
We may, we or rather we should do it because otherwise, how can we get the manpower?
Yeah, true.
To some extent, that is a ready-made manpower,
Yeah,
human resource, ready-made human resource. So we need to just approach them, tell them that what you are doing is good, but yes, you have to do it under such scheme.
hmm,
We cannot discard them.
yeah. Thank you. So thank you very much, sir. And thank you for
Right.
addressing my questions. If I have any
Right.
more, maybe I will ask in a later
Sure.
stage. Thank
Sure.
you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dhirendra. Next, we have a question from Mr. Joseph Peter Kumar. Can you please unmute yourself and ask your question to sir?
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Sir, this is the
Yeah.
best session I attended because it closely links with my experience and my past. Even I was upset, like why I wasted my young life in
Yeah.
movement building and all. But exactly, this is the I had whatever the questions I had in my mind. I think I got answers from you, sir. I think I shouldn't have. I mean, this is the best session I attended in this series. I mean, weekly things. Thank you for that. My question is, sir. See, my friends. I mean, whoever work with me in movements. No, there are two things happen. One, leaders are. I'm not talking about leader. Everyone is a leader, village level or district level. The
Yeah.
leaders, right? There are two types of leaders. I mean, my teammates, whoever I'm working, they sacrifice their life. Finally, they lost their economy, they lost their life. Finally, they died. That kind of sacrifice, one type of leaders are doing. Another group of leaders, like maybe mainly after maybe some they started with great enthusiasm and with the dedication, commitment in the beginning. They were strong fighters in the beginning, but after over a period of time, they become selfish and they use this movement on people to earn money, kind of a thing. There are two type of leaders in the same movement. Okay, but I'm worried about the first type of leaders, like who are sacrificing and they're completely losing their life. Right? Do we have how to that balance that life, like instead of completely dedicating that one? And one more
See,
thing also, movements also, what I my observe is, as long as we are a social movement, we are dedicatedly working for the people. When I know Ambedkar talks about the getting the power, political power, but when a social movements goes as a political movement, there are so much of compromise. Our leaders become selfish and they get money from the large parties, all those things. they utilize our people also. They showcase our people and try to make out of money. So, what's your opinion on social movements and political movements? Like, because I see that as long as social movements we are doing good. When we move to a political movement, how to control the leadership when we are moving to a political movement?
I do respect and salute all those people who had dedicated their whole life selflessly for the cause of society. And there are there are a group of people also who had different intentions and had reached some level. Well, in either case, I would say, if I need to talk about all those people who were sincerely dedicated to the cause, with due respect to them, I salute them with due respect. Were they really clear as to for what purpose they had dedicated themselves? See, analysis is done only after failure. Only after certain problems are created, that time that those analyses are done. So, with all my due respect to those people who had dedicatedly given their life for the cause of society, did they really have ideological clarity? I had seen many such people. But when I try to evaluate, somewhere I find that lacking of ideological clarity. It could be purely out of sentimental attachment with Baba Sahib. Well, fine. That is the case with many people in Maharashtra, because people had seen Baba Sahib. But that doesn't suffice. You have to think beyond that. And that is why we need a movement which I am talking of. We need to give a clarity. Regarding the social and political question which you have raised, any politics without ideological base is a failure. Unless you don't have a ideological clarity, unless you don't have a social background, social roots, unless you don't strengthen your social roots, till then your politics cannot sustain. Your politics will never be successful. Why the present politics in India, no matter to whatever level of, to whatever extent of opposition or blames or whatever you may call it, they are still pulling on. They had spent more than, say, about 70, 80 years first in strengthening the non-political roots. Had we ever thought that we need to first strengthen the non-political roots? And once you strengthen the non-political roots, it is not only politics. You think of anything, you can give a solution. This is what my understanding is. हेलो, मैं करता मैं बात. So, Joseph, what I am trying to tell is, nothing can stand on the earth if there are no roots below the earth. Did we ever think of creating our roots? If you want to be successful in cultural aspect or religious aspect, whether you want to be, if you want to be successful in on economic front, political front, or whatever it is, unless beneath the ground you have not created the roots, how can any activities will start? That is a basic thinking you should look into. So what we have done till now is, just because we have collected 10,000 people, 20,000 people, 50,000 people, leaders started feeling that now we can capture the political power. No. You will capture the political power, but you will fall with the same speed. That has happened.
Can a political division or political party, even though if it is Can it also be an institution kind of thing under a movement? I think that model will work.
Politics is one wing of the movement. Unfortunately, we leave aside everything and give the topmost importance to the politics. Politics is one activity. We consider it as a only activity. That is where we are going wrong. I don't know whether I've answered, Joseph.
Yeah. Thank you for your question, Mr. Joseph. Next, Mr. Vijay had mentioned in the chat that he has a question for you, sir. Mr. Vijay, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question?
Yeah. Namaskar, Jai Bhim,
Jai Bhim.
Maske Sahab.
Yeah, Jai Bhim.
This is a question from Dr. Vinod Rangari from Nagpur, Maharashtra in India. It's a wonderful talk you have given. I would like to take you to the post-Baba Sahib movement of Kansiramji as well as the non-political movement of BAMSEF. What is the fate of these institutions which have been developed with the very hard work of the post Baba Sahib Ambedkar movements? Why there is a failure of Kansiram movement, where Mayawati had been multiple times the chief minister of UP, and what is the status of the non-political movement BAMSEF?
Again, you are from Nagpur?
Yes, Vinod Rangari. We had been to JD Rangari. Yeah.
I would again say, because I know the bare facts, I know the inside story, but again, this is not the forum where I can discuss this. We can certainly discuss
about non-political movement of BAMSEF.
Yeah. See, you know well, there are many groups now.
Yes.
Many groups.
So when we will try to build such type of institutions, there would be many groups and they would go astray in different directions. And it's going to happen again and again.
No. See, whatever the position, situation may be prevailing as on date, with all those experiences of past, we have to think in new terms. And that is what, as I mentioned very clearly, that Baba Sahib has said that crisis can be met by discovering the new ways. But do we really...
Baba Sahib is saying that the learned and educated people betrayed him. In that case, the educated and learned peoples, they are bound to go different ways. So how we can build the institution with such type of peoples?
No. See, I think let us not blame anybody, neither learned people or whatever you may say, or the past leaders, or any movement. Let us very rationally think over the whole situation, taking into consideration all the past experiences and failures, and try to evolve some new model. That is only thing which I can speak on this forum. If at all you are interested, I will certainly meet you and talk over.
Yeah. We will definitely meet, and I would be very interested to be associated with the organization.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah, thanks. Dr. Shrikant Borkar.
Yeah. Next, we'll have a question from Reena. Okay. Can you please go ahead and ask your question?
Yeah, thanks. This is Nishikant Uke, husband of Reena. Thank you, Maskeji, for the wonderful, insightful session. I was able to get it, in between, but looks like we need to have our unbiased and have the judgment based on the actual actions of our leaders and the parties and not be a blind follower. I think that's a great takeaway, as well as you provided the solution of, having an institution or a team of the team leadership, right? And then the way to have code of conduct. I think that was really good. So my question, two questions. So one is, you mentioned that you have this session for 2 days. So would like to know like what are the ways like we probably need more discussion or some questions. Would like to know like what are the ways like we can engage with you in future on this same topic and probably have some dedicated sessions. That is the first question. And second question is, looking at the current context, I think there is a need to have this a movement which is in line in vision with Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, and with as an institution having all those judgment actions and the course of the movement, right? A non-political movement should be started. So, in the current context, what kind of work are there? Some work going on with such people or who are engaged in this kind of a non-political movement based on Baba Saheb Ambedkar's vision, and how what kind of help or how we can start engaging with it. So, basically, these two questions. Thank you.
See, basically, I feel that unless there is a brainstorming session of all such people who wish that some such thing should happen,
Yep.
till then, I alone cannot finalize anything for anybody. When I have designed this particular topic, when I had started speaking on this particular topic, I had been talking to many people. I had been giving my lectures on this particular topic to, I had given to many people.
Mhm.
But one comment which I received was, this is not likely to happen.
Mhm.
And I tried to know why you feel that it is impossible to happen. Because they said that you cannot get such people which you are trying to describe, the type of personality character for the people of the institute.
Mhm.
I said, okay, fine. If it is impossible, then tell me another way out.
Mhm.
There has to be some way out. If you reject my theory, you give your own theory.
Yep. Yep.
So this was what my expression is. But later I had seen those same people talking in some other program that this is what the way is.
Yep.
So people do accept that this is the way, but then at the same time they express their incapability that they are not fit for the institute. They are not fit to be a team member of the institute. This is
Mhm.
what I had seen. Well, but I'll be happy if there is any other alternate way method to overcome the present problem. I'm not insisting that my line of thinking is the only way. No. So there has to be a brainstorming session, and rest of the queries can be addressed.
Mhm. Yeah, sure. So I think second part is like, do you see any such group of people or working towards it where we can engage, or is it something that we have to start?
There are few peoples. There
Mhm.
are few people, uh, but then they too need to be brainwashed.
Mhm.
There is no ready-made product available as such. To
Sure.
some extent, yes, I would say if you ask me in terms of percentage, I can say there are some people who have 60% quality, 7% quality, but those remaining 30% or 40% should not become a reason for our downfall.
Mhm.
So those people who are ready with 70 or 60%, they need to further trained and evolved. See,
Sure.
what I'm trying to say, if I try to compare with the personality of Dr. Ambedkar, though he was a single person, I
Mhm.
say he's an institute in himself.
Yeah.
What all parameters I had told you, he was
Mhm.
having all those qualities. Of course, today we cannot get one person with all those qualities. So I am talking of a team.
Yeah, I think that is need of the hour. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would just want to have your contacts and maybe a way to engage with you so that we can take it forward as
Let it
well
put
as
me. Should I put it in the chat box?
yeah, I think that should be fine.
And next is Alka Dokeji is there. Yeah, she asking. Unmute, please. Srikant Borkar.
Nanmati, are you there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shrikant.
Yeah.
Shrikant Borkar, I have not met him for long. Is he from Akola?
So there will be some questions in the order they will be invited to ask. So let
Yeah.
Praniti invite the guest first, please. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. So, and thank you for your question, Mr. Nishikant. Okay. Next, we'll have question from Dr. Shrikant Borkar. Can you please
Yeah.
unmute yourself and ask your question?
Hello, thank you, everybody.
Shrikant, I'm not able to hear you.
Hello, Jai Bhim.
Jai Bhim, Jai Bhim.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Jai Bhim,
please.
Jai Bhim,
Jai
Jai
Bhim.
Bharat to Maske Sahib and everybody who is on board and listening to me. Thank you very much, Saab. I've been listening seriously to your talk, and then it has been really illuminating. And you have underlined many important things. And we are all of the peas of the same pod. I can see that there is a kind of repetition in many things going on, and being a worker, grassroots, and in BAMSEF and all the stuff working at the grassroots, I thought that I was listening same thing again and again. I have seen couple of splits in post Ambedkarite argument. You have seen a couple of more than me, but then I think this is the kind of a vision got in. And now you are come up with this new kind of design, which is not new. In fact, but this has been in the post Kanshiram faction, the same thoughts were spoken about, and then the necessity to build something which is as good as a caucus or CEC was told. A responsible CEC should be formed and not the one which is under someone's sway. There was opposition to one-man leadership, and all this stuff is going on. But then I think, and also you said that let us not blame or let us not hold someone, any leader responsible. We have to take responsibility, Sahab. Responsibility तो लेनी पड़ेगी. रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेनी पड़ी. खापर ने सामने रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ली थी. बाद में बोरकर साहब और आपको और गंगाव ने साहब को रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेनी पड़ेगी. आप लोग थे हो रही थी. And you let it happen in some way or other. There was a CEC. There were the people, those who could see the crumbling of the organization, those who could see the demagoguery at the rise in that one-man leadership, and you were in the position to give check. I hope that you might have done, or and I would like to know from you, and has it been documented, or where you've been able to kind of give check to those mentalities of dictatorial attitudes of one-man leadership or not? And I think this will be a good kind of a brainstorming for us to build something for the posterity. Other thing I was listening to, I think that we also need to revisit some recurring terms and ideas and terminologies. And for example, when you talk about the intellect, I'm fed up of this particular term. Yesterday, I was in one of the international podcast. YouTube, it is YouTube as well. It is called Thus Spoke Ambedkar, and every happens. We have we ourselves? Have we really felt our Baba Sahab's vision of building egalitarian society? Only political failure should be termed as a failure? These are some questions we need to ask. Whenever such a discussion arises, Buddhijivi is a scapegoat. Buddhijivi is a bali ka bakra. And what is this bloody Buddhijivi? A farmer is a Buddhijivi. A carpenter, a cobbler is a Buddhijivi. A man who is doing even physical work, he needs a brain as well. So everybody, it is blamed on the Buddhijivi. The Buddhijivi did it. Buddhijivi have to do that. Buddhijivi have to take responsibility. They have to think behalf of something. Society, we are a byproduct. We are a direct product of our society. And aisa कहते हैं यथा प्रजा तथा राजा. Although it has been said by some Chanakya in Sanskrit, it doesn't falsify the truth. So हमारे नेताओं को हमारा समाज सामने ला रहा है और वैसे नेता मिल रहे हैं जैसी जनता है. आप लोग यही बात मेश्राम के फैक्शन के वक्त भी हमने उस वक्त की सीसी से और उस वक्त के लीडरान से की थी हमने ये कि भाई you have to take the responsibility. When you take the responsibility and you build something which to make sure that these things would not happen in the future. Point I was trying to make is that we need to get rid of this. We need to revisit this and we need to brainstorm on these terms. What is the failure? What is the being Buddhijivi, and what is the institution? What is the institutional leadership? You did try to kind of shed a light on this particular concept of institution and institutionalizing. And then, as I can see that you're tilting somewhat toward forming a caucus, which already exists in all the so-called BAMSEFs as a CEC. They might have been very weak in their capacity not to question the so-called tyrants or so-called dictatorial demagogues in the BAMSEF, but then it was already there. So my question is that what your new caucus type of CEC is going to do and how it is going to help us to curb these failures in future? That is one. It is going to be one of my questions.
See, the thing is, I will certainly not deny that. Of course, there was a CEC.
Yeah.
But then what matters is, again, the parameters of the institute, which I have slightly spelled out. With due respect to everybody, did everybody had that level of understanding the vision and mission? That becomes very important aspect. So, creating a CEC by nomination and creating a team by certain stringent constraints, parameters are two different things. You create a CEC does not mean that it is a solution, because CEC is such a thing that maybe after 2 years, the whole lot may change. The whole new lot may change. But without blaming anybody, we need to evaluate whether those qualities which we are talking of, whether do we really possess it.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir, but then where did the problem lie? Did we not have the clarity about our ultimate objective?
मैं वही कह रहा हूँ.
आप जब नई मेंबर्स को ले रहे थे तो आप एक सेकंड लीडरशिप तैयार कर रहे थे. I can understand that.
ये इशू ऐसा है ना कि ये थ्रेडबेयर डिस्कशंस करने पड़ेंगे, ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग सेशन होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि you have your experiences, I have my experiences. Now, if we start speaking on this, it may boil down to the blame game.
No. See, by taking the responsibility, I don't really want to blame anybody, क्योंकि देखिए आप लोग फ्रंट पर थे, आप लोगों ने कोशिश की और नतीजन कुछ लोगों को असफलता मिली. इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि आप असफल हो गए, लेकिन आपने किया. You took the kind of a mental. And so my point is, as if we are now kind of brainstorming. आपकी आज की स्पीच की वजह से और ये बातें सारी मुझे याद आ गई. तो मेरा
नहीं, बोरकर साहब देखो एक चीज, बोरकर साहब लेट मी इंटरप्ट. ये जो टॉपिक है ना, ये ऐसे लिंक पे डिस्कस नहीं हो पाएगा. मैं अभी भी आई एम स्टिल ओपन फॉर एनी सॉर्ट ऑफ डिस्कशंस और एनी सॉर्ट, maybe personally or online. Anything will do.
And it is better if we get more serious people like that. My second question to you was your suggestion about the institution in the post Vaman Meshram split. What happened? that there was a big talk and there was a...
Please. I think we should not talk of anybody in person. जाने दो, वो ये सारे इश्यूज तो पर्सनल डिस्कशन में ज्यादा रिजॉल्व हो सकते हैं.
हाँ, मेरी बात सुनिए, मैं उनको कोई डेलीगेटरी नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, लेकिन जब वामन मेश्राम के लीडरशिप में जब बामसेफ शुरू थी, तो उसमें हमने भी हमारा खून पसीना एक किया है, और मैं नहीं समझता कि वो सैक्रिफाइस था, वो मेरा जाया गया, वो कहीं ना कहीं लगा है, और अभी वो जो भी सर्वाइव कर रहे हैं, जो भी कर रहे हैं, दिस इज गुड फॉर देम, बट देन आई विल हैव टू रेफर टू हिम. So in the post that faction, my point I was trying to make is that मस्के साहब कि इंस्टीट्यूशनल लीडरशिप की बात बड़ी जोर शोर से चली थी, और बड़े पैमाने पर आजकल यूट्यूब पर भी खापर्डे साहब का एक बहुत अच्छा स्पीच जो उन्होंने कन्वेंशन में दिया है, वो वायरल है, जिसमें वो कहते हैं कि बामसेफ अपने आप में उत्कृष्ट है.
Borkar साहब, my request is please cut short because these are such a thing
Sir, may I ask a question?
which are very unending, and if you really need to know the inside story may be something different which cannot be discussed online, or
Sir, may I
maybe
ask question?
between two of us we can discuss. Somebody else was talking.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Borkar. Just to repeat again, we'll be taking the questions in order. We have few more questions, Maske Sahib. And next, we'll take a question from Dr. Alka Doke. Dr. Alka Doke, please unmute yourself and ask your question too, sir.
Sir,
Yeah.
my question is, there are many organizations in our society,
Yeah.
but all are failures. So
Yeah.
we must find out the reason behind it. So
Yeah.
the reason is there is no unity, there is no communication,
Yeah.
and there is no fraternity among the people. And so we have to change the mental attitude of the people
Yes.
of society.
Yes.
That is why Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar embraced Buddhism, and we have to follow the principles of,
Yeah.
of Buddhism,
Yes.
so that the social strength will be increased. And on the social strength only, political strength depends.
Yeah.
So there must be fraternity first
Yes.
in the society.
Yes.
Liberty, equality, and fraternity is at most important.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comment, Dr. Alkadoke. Next, I saw in chat Mr. Anil Rangari had posted a question. Mr. Anil Rangari, if you're still here, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question?
Just few seconds. I'll just come back.
Sure, sir. Yeah.
Just few seconds.
Is he there? Is Anil there on the call? Anil Rangari, if he's able to unmute yourself. I'm sending you the request to unmute. So in the meantime, while he comes back, Pranati doesn't seem like he's trying to unmute himself. So if you have any other guest, you can invite in the meantime.
Sure. Yeah, I can see Mr. Rangari still on call, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, if he's not answering the call, don't worry about it.
Sure. Next, we had a question from Mr. Vijay, if he's still around. I don't see him. We had another question from Mr. Parme.
Yeah. Okay, let's have the question.
Mr. Parmeshwar, are you still there? We saw that you had a question you had mentioned in chat. Can you please unmute yourself and ask the question?
Okay, I sent him the unmute request. He should be able to unmute now.
Yeah, Jai Bhim, sir.
Jai Bhim.
Sir, what activities should be focused for the empowerment of society rather than the welfarement?
It's a good question. Like, I would say that, or rather, it is a difficult question also. Not only good, but it's a difficult question also. I would say that we need to look into how Dr. Ambedkar had done the empowerment. If you look into that, we may get some guidelines, some clue as to what activities or what course of action we should take up for empowerment. Like I had said that he has socially, politically, educationally, culturally, economically empowered the people. So once we try to know how he had done all different types of empowerment, then only principally we can know how to empower the people, society. And then you can decide what activities we should take up to empower. So this is what I think we need to study into that. Of course, I have developed some chart for that. So empowerment is not a welfare act. Like by doing welfare activity does not mean empowerment. Empowerment is trying to execute, implement certain policies which is beneficial for the society as a whole. So in this background, you can think of.
Thank you for your question, Mr. Parmeshwar. We'll take one last question from Mr. Dhirendra Bhagwat. Yeah. Mr. Dhirendra, can you please unmute yourself?
Yeah, I could unmute myself. Thank you very much for offering me this chance. Saib, the model which you have proposed and built and proposed, or I can say rebuilt and proposed, it for that we would need your 2 days workshops in Europe, in different countries. Will you have an availability? Maybe if not this year, in January, February, March 2026?
Yeah, that can be worked out. It's not a big issue. Otherwise, also now I'm a retired person, so I have ample time to move around. Otherwise, also when I was doing a job, I was moving around.
Yes, sir.
So we can certainly do that.
Maybe I will come offline to you and then we can plan something in that direction. Thank you very much for you.
I think with this, we'll end the question answer session. Thank you everyone in the audience for asking your questions. This was a really insightful topic and the audience was also engaging. And if Maske Saib, if you have time, Anna would love to have you attend another of our online sessions for further talks, because this is such a vast topic and everyone is very keen to know more about it. If I may sum up this this session within like few key takeaways, which are based on my understanding from your talk, is like we as intellectuals and common people need to understand Dr. Baba Saheb's ideologies, and we need to have proper frameworks for trainings, institutions, and continuous introspection and retrospection is required to drive the social movement for empowerment and social change. So thank you so much for taking out the time and sharing your thoughts and analysis on behalf of Anna. I once again thank you. And with this, we would like to conclude today's online Vihara session. I would like to express our thanks to Bhante Shri Shivalli for blessing us with the Dhamma talk, for Zen Gavan Day and Kranti Tai for an engaging kid story session, and to you, sir, for taking out the time for your talk today. With this, we conclude today's session. Hopefully, we'll see you all next week for another online session. Thank you for your time. Jai Bhim.